Overall thoughts on tonight's game?
Uh, it was a rough go from the very beginning. Literally from the very beginning, we turned over on the first play of the game, um, and just never really settled in. But I just didn't feel like we challenged them enough. It's a good team. You know, that team is going to be competing for a championship this year. Um, but we didn't challenge them enough, in my opinion. Um, but we never really got settled in. I thought their pressure really hurt us, turned us over. The rebounding really kind of hurt us. Um, so it was an uphill climb the whole game.
You surprised by how poorly you? Sorry, were you surprised by how poorly you guys started, given the opponent, given their length, their experience, and that you have so many new players and so many young players? I mean, did it shock you?
Um, I wasn't surprised at all. I thought that it would, this is obviously was, it was going to be a tough game for us. The experience that they have, the size and the experience. Uh, Knew was going to come into play, but um, I'm the only thing that I'm disappointed in just a little is just I just thought we let them catch the ball too easy. They didn't let us catch it easy. We know their plays. They knew our plays. Um, they didn't let us just catch it where they wanted to catch it. We kind of allowed them to do so. And the game is very easy with no pressure. I mean, basketball is very easy when you're not under duress, and that's kind of what you're seeing today.
Coach, obviously, so much of this season is about the development and growth of skill.
Yeah.
And I think some people will have the impulse to react to tonight's game. What do you say to people about that? About
I, I, w-
jumping to conclusions?
yeah, I would just say there's going to be some nights that he looks 19, and tonight was one of those nights. And I'm not surprised by it. Sometimes we sat here and talked, and I said I'll be interested to see at what point he calms down. You know, it never really happened. Until the end of the game when the game was out of reach. But that's just a part of it. That's a part of where we're at. And when you're developing a young player in particular at that position, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy.
And so much of this is also how you are going to coach him and bring him along through this.
Hmm.
So, do you know what your next move is going to be with him? Do you let him breathe? Do you console him? Do
No,
you?
no. We'll sit and watch it and talk about it because I first and foremost I want to say what he's seen, what he thought. You know, sometimes what he's seen and why he might feel like he struggled is probably different than the way that I see it. But I always want to allow them to tell me first, so they're not just saying what I say, if that makes sense. So yeah, it'll be like this sometimes this year. Where sometimes I got to kind of step back and just let it happen. Because that's how you learn. Experience is kind of the best teacher. I still remember some of my rookie games as a rookie when I had 9 turnovers and 8 turnovers and who it was against and where it was at. Like you just remember those things. So some of it is going to be me stepping back, letting it happen, and some of it I got to step in and say, okay, hold on. So be touch and go.
Did you feel like he was just tight tonight, or what did you actually see that was holding him back from showing everything that you think he's capable of?
Yeah,
Was it
well,
nerves,
I
tightness?
thought he was very. I thought he was nervous. For one, I think the main thing that happens in this position is you want to play good so bad, you know, um, and that can kind of overtake you, So it was a lot probably coming at him. Look at who we were playing against. That's a good team. They're out there to prove, like, no, not against us. We know he's probably going to be not tonight. That's another thing that you don't even think about, you know. And so you could tell, with how Russ played out there, backing us down, kind of taking advantage of our size against him. You know, like that's how this game is. But those are great moments to learn from.
How did you feel in the moment that he responded to kind of the game going the way that it went for him? We couldn't really see the bench from our angle, but like, did you see him like getting frustrated or getting discouraged during timeouts and stuff? Like, how do you feel like he kind of hung with it?
That's the thing that made me most happy, to be honest with you. As he struggled today, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. He was still locked in everything I said. He's looking me in my eyes. Anytime a teammate tried to help him, he's looking at him in his eyes. And he's going to be one of those type of guys that whether he's playing great or he's not playing that great, you're never going to know in his demeanor, you know. So he didn't hang his hat. He had open shots. He shot them. He missed it. So what? He turned it over. He got back. He tried to get back into the play. To me, that's a big deal. That's a big deal because it's easy to lose confidence in the moment, you know, when you're not playing well, when you're used to playing great. It's natural.
First chance to see Rob in live action. What'd you think? How do you feel like he performed, particularly with that second unit?
Yeah, I thought Rob did a pretty good job. Obviously, DA getting in foul trouble early kind of hurt the rotation, hurt the minutes, you know, the plan, you know, at least. So it kind of shuffled some things around. But I thought Rob came in and did a pretty good job. But in all honesty, I don't think anybody, with the exception of maybe Ant and Malcolm, I don't think anybody really settled in all night. You know, it was kind of a clunky game. But some of that is nerves, and a lot of that is who you're playing against. You know, that's going to be probably a top 2 or 3 defensive team in the league this year, in my opinion. So a lot of that is them. You know, you got to give them that credit.
Can you give me your assessment on DeAndre tonight? He got in early foul trouble, but I think he only had like 4 points and a handful of shots.
He struggled too.
Yeah.
DeAndre struggled, you know, and I don't think he played with a lot of force. You know, foul trouble will do that to you. You know, a lot of times it'll kind of get you off of what you want to do from an aggressive standpoint. He rebounded the ball pretty well, but every time he got the ball, you know, there were 2 or 3 people around. So if he tried to get to us, you know, he was turning it over. They was deflecting it. So, again, I thought he was very anxious, you know, to prove what he could do. So I thought nerves along with, you know, the foul trouble kind of threw DA off.